We all know that Bud Light and Target are doing really bad things. I've said it a million times, but I think what Target is doing with having Pride merch for children and having naked trans people on that Pride merch is way, way worse than anything that Bud Light has done. And I definitely agree that Bud Light has also done some really bad things with platforming Dylan Mulvaney and those ideals. But I think that what Target has done is way 10 times more disgusting than anything that Bud Light has done. This one might take the cake, though. And I know a lot of people out there were saying Yuengling is a good alternative, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I think it's called Yuengling, is a good alternative for Bud Light. The people who want to support American-made beer should go buy Yuengling and things like that. But Tim Pool actually exposed something that's really, really disturbing, maybe even worse than anything that Target is doing and anything that Bud Light is doing as well. Even if Yuengling does disavow this, it doesn't change the fact that this is extremely disgusting and disturbing, and it needs to stop. This needs to be brought, attention needs to be brought to this, because this shouldn't be happening anywhere in the world. Nobody should be defending this, and it's insane because they already know that lefties are going to come out and defend this stuff. But as you can see on the screen right here, this original Tim Pool tweet was responding to this Music Fest tweet saying, "Need your drag fix before our iconic Music Fest drag show? Well, the Queens return to Music Fest Cafe Press by Yuengling on June 30th. Close out Pride Month with a fierce show." I think I'm good. And Tim Pool responded to that and said, "A drag show that allows babies." So I guess he went to the description of it, and it says, "including babies in arms," talking about entering the venue, must have a ticket. Each ticket, blah, blah, blah. But it says including babies in arms. So that means that you can bring babies into this drag show. Like, that is the entirety of what our issue is involving children, and they're involving babies. Like, having actual infants in drag shows is absolutely disgusting. Like I said, what Target did, 10 times worse than what Bud Light did. But this, I think, takes the cake for all of it. Having children, infants, babies involved in these drag shows. And I don't think they're going to put an age limit on it. They actually they said at the end right here, attendance of children under 2 years of age may not be recommended for performances. If they were like a 6-month-old baby, they're not going to remember this. I don't think it would traumatize them or sway them one way or another. Still disgusting. But I think that having a 6-month-old baby there is honestly not as bad as having a 4-year-old there, because a 4-year-old is actually going to be able to remember things. It's actually going to imprint on him, and it probably would a little bit for the 6-month-old as well. I'm just saying, if we're talking the age difference, if we're weighing the options here, I think that a 4-year-old is much worse actually than a 6-month-old. And this is saying right here, attendance of children under 2 years of age may not be recommended. So they're still allowed. They're still allowed to go there. They're very much encouraged if they're over 2 years, but under 2 years, you might want to rethink things. It's just disgusting. All of it is just so disgusting. And that's the whole issue with the Call of Duty situation of Nick Merckx saying, just leave children out of it. And they have absolute meltdowns whenever you say, hey, go do your weird ass drag shit. Like, it's still extremely weird, but if you're 30 years old and doing it, go do your weird stuff. Just leave the children alone. Just leave the children out of it. And not only are they not leaving the children out of it, they're taking the extra step. They're going the extra mile to even allow children under 2 years of age. It may not be recommended, but it's still allowed. We'll still take that money. We'll still put that imprint, that disgusting imprint on your children of having them at drag shows, man. It's just so disgusting. And apparently they deleted this tweet, as Tim Pool said. Music Fest deleted their Babies Allowed drag show tweet sponsored by Yuengling. And then he responded to it once again and said, venue confirms drag show allows babies. It is still happening. They do not know why the tweet was deleted. So there's no reason for the tweet to be deleted. It's not like they were lying. It's not like they backtracked on it. They're standing their ground, and they're allowing babies, not recommended under 2 years of age, but over 2 years of age. It seems like everything's fair. It's all fair as long as you're over 2 years of age. And like I said, like it says right there, even if you're under 2 years of age, it's just not recommended. You're still allowed if you're under 2. It's just so disgusting, man. It's like all we ask, and I think this is honestly one of the problems of the right wing and of the common sense movement as a whole, is we're always like, just leave the kids out of it. That's all we ask. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll leave the kids out of it. And they totally don't do that. And it's not like they're being reasonable about it and say, okay, you know what? We're going to go do our weird shit over here, but you're right. We should leave the kids out of it. They're like, no. They immediately have meltdowns saying, no, everyone needs to be involved, in especially children and things like that. Whereas the right and the common sense party is kind of just like, we'll let you do your weird stuff over there. We'll compromise on that. Just please leave our children out of it. And they're just like, no, we must have children involved. It's not going to be fun unless children are involved. Like, they don't back down on anything on that side. I think that's one of the biggest issues of this whole thing. is that the right and the common sense people are like, they're very much willing to compromise. They're very much willing to say like, yeah, you know, go do your weird shit, go do your drag show shit over there. Just make sure you stay away from my kids. You know, go pray to your pride flag over there, but don't put it in my children's schools. Don't make my children in school pray to the pride flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the pride flag and shit like that. And they just say no. They just will not accept your compromise. Whereas the right, and like I said, the common sense people, because I don't even like saying it's a right wing thing. This should just be a general human morality thing that babies should not be allowed in drag shows. This isn't a right-wing thing. This isn't a Republican, a conservative thing. This is just a morality and a principle aspect of life that everyone should have. Everyone should be on the same page when it comes to this. So I don't even like saying it's a right-wing thing, but it's like the common sense people are just so chill, and they're just like, you just, please, let's just compromise on this. And the left is totally just like, no, we will not compromise. We must have children involved in all of our drag shows and all of our pride celebrations and all of that stuff. But let me know what you're thinking about Tim Pool exposing this drag show. It's sponsored by Yuengling, by the way, which, like I said, a lot of people were leaving Bud Light to go over to the Yuengling side. It's sponsored by Yuengling. Allowing babies, encouraging babies under 2 years of age may not be recommended, but still allowed. And if you're over 2, you're encouraged to go. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments about the whole situation.